Hello YouTube. I wanted to bring you a quick video today to demonstrate how you can add forms in HTML and JavaScript that are dynamic to your Confluence pages. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and if you don't have an account, create one. You can go ahead and create a trial or typically you have maybe a server-side configuration, but either way, what I'm going to use here is just a free trial version of Confluence. I just went to the site and set up for a trial. So there's a couple of different configurations. They have a Confluence Cloud version and they also have a server-side version. By default, I'm not sure what the server-side version does. Where I was configuring it, they already had the HTML plugin. When I installed the Confluence Cloud version or signed up for the free trial, I noticed that I couldn't find the HTML, so I went to the HTML frame work so that you can do the embedded HTML and JavaScript. So what I did was I just went over to the marketplace and I ended up selecting it. So let's go ahead and first make sure that you have HTML, and if you don't, you know where to find it. So you can go here to the marketplace and do find new apps. And then once you're here, you can just do a search. I'm just going to do a quick search for HTML. And the one that I picked was this one, HTML and iframe macro for Confluence. And I just simply selected it and added it. It was a free trial. I'm not entirely sure how long the free trial was for, but I believe it said something like average of $4 a month after that, or 30 days or something like that. But either way, if you're using this for a company, you probably have the server-side version and you probably already have the HTML plugin, or if you find this so valuable, it might be actually worth keeping it and paying the monthly charge for the HTML and iframe macro for Confluence. But anyways, I added it. It took a minute to add and then said that the app was added. So now that it's added, we'll go ahead and we'll create a page. So to create the page, we're just going to either go back to your normal home page, or you can just select create up top. So I will just go ahead and I'll just select this page here. So this is my form magic site. So you might have a company name or something of that sort, team name as the header. I just made form magic just because that's what I decided to do. But of course, you're able to do whatever you want. And this is all basic information that came with the trial. It all was already pre-populated, so we can just ignore that, and all we want to do is we just want to create a page. So for this page, we'll just type in form create. Actually, we'll call it dynamic form create. So the idea is we're going to allow a user to put in what they want, but it's going to format it in a way that we're expecting it in, say, a ticket that they need to do some sort of escalation to another team within your organization for. So we have dynamic form create. That's just what we just put in some information there. This is just some normal text that you can just add or whatnot, and just to give you an example is what that was for. So I'm just going to go to the add. I'm going to select a macro. I'm going to type HTML in here, and I'm going to just use the HTML iframe macro. And we're just going to go insert. Okay, and now we have the iframe macro here. So when we edit it, we'll go ahead and put our information in here. I've used to the server side. On the server side, it's a little bit different. You can actually type directly into the background, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and insert all of our HTML code here. So I already have it off to the side. You can use a regular notepad or whatnot. I typically use Visual Studio, but really anything will work because it's just basic JavaScript up top here and then HTML below. So of course we have our script designation and two functions, one to build the statement here while doing an if clause check to make sure that a team name is not empty. You can run multiple if checks here to ensure that there's specific data or compared data to make sure that it's formatted the way that you would like, or the data includes specific information that you're looking for. You can run as many if checks as you want here. And then we go ahead and we populate the document with the information that we want and kind of put it together, the variables with the actual names that they are. And then we have a clear statement here in JavaScript to just clear everything out. And then we have our standard HTML here that is just building out the meat of the page. And then here at the bottom, just more around formatting and the information that is going to be output to the screen. So definitely welcome to step through this in detail. But for this instance of the video, it's just a matter of I'll provide the code and I'll show a quick demonstration, and then you kind of take it from there. So we'll go ahead and just insert this and publish. And now we'll just give it a minute here to reload. Okay, and there is our form. So as you can see, I have it pre-populated with information that was put in through the JavaScript. Again, you can step through the code, you can see exactly where this information was put in, any of these additional details, but the key thing here is when we click generate, we now have the information in the way that we want. Again, this is all written in HTML and JavaScript, so you can manipulate it any which way you want, and you have input and you have output, and you can do with it however you would like. You can run checks on the information, you can write a story, my team, insert team name, on insert date, experienced a insert problem, at insert time, we would like to insert next steps and have basically a statement, a paragraph written as far as what information you want. And it's as easy as just clicking clear and it's all gone. And if you try to generate, as you can see, you'll get an error. That's because of the if clause that said that if the team name was blank to throw up an error. But I could have said if the team name doesn't start with a A, throw up an error if that's a specific piece of information that is of concern. So team name, so we'll just do test team tomorrow and 11 a.m. Again, there's no formatting restrictions here at this point. Again, you can program them in whenever. The problem is the sun is too bright. And then what would be next steps would be uh, moonlight only. Moonlight only. Moonlight. It sounds like that's a one word to me. And then we generate, and there we do have that information. So as you can see, I just seems like I kind of put the example of what the information was supposed to be on the wrong side, kind of team name impacted by issue, but then I went with an example of date, time, etc. So that's as easy as going in here, doing an edit. To take care of this, what we'll do is we'll go in here. We will remove the team name impacted because, again, this should be the statement at the beginning and the end should actually be an example. So we'll name this great team, sour team. And then what we want to do is we actually want to add a little bit more table data here. So we want the first piece of data, table data, to actually be team name impacted by issue. So now it'll say team name impacted by issue, then we'll have an input box, and then we'll have the example of what we expect the team name or date or etc. should be. Again, because this is just standard HTML, you can go ahead and format it however you would like, but I just wanted to demonstrate how easy it was to go ahead and just modify that. So we'll go ahead and we'll save it, we'll publish, and there you go. So as you can see now, we have team name impacted by issue here. We have our input box here, And then again, if we generate, it'll say please enter your team name. So team name, and we could generate, and we go ahead and we have a generation, and we have a clear, we still have a clear. As you can see, the formatting did get a little bit skewed due to just the way that the formatting with the table rows and headers and the table data itself is formatted. But you can, through HTML and JavaScript, clean that up if you would like. But I believe once we put in all the information as far as date that was impacted, or even just manipulating this to say just team name, we can clean it up that way. That's the kind of the luxury of programming in general, is just you really have the flexibility to do whatever your heart desires. So as simple as team name impacted, that may help make it look a little bit better. Um, so yeah, see, so that's better right there alone. But then you can do left alignment, right alignment, specify the width. As most of you know, if you start messing with HTML and JavaScript, you'll see that there's quite a few changes, and there's so much customization. I just don't want the video to go long over just customization. I just wanted to show the bulk of what is capable of Confluence with the HTML and JavaScript into integrations, or macro, I should say, the HTML iframe macro. So on that, I'm going to wrap up the video. Definitely let me know if you have any questions, if you're running into any trouble, if you find that there's a easier solution to a more dynamic creation. And keep an eye out for my second video on this creation. It's going to be drop down menus that are dynamically allocated. So say that you want to see only interior paint colors that are blue if the outside of your house is white, or things like that. Basically anything to make it so that it's more of a change and a dynamic flow to your next drop down. So you'll drop down this first box to a specific thing, and that will change all of the corresponding boxes. So you'll have different information in this box. Once you select it, this one will come up with even more different things, and then you select it and more different things and more different things, etc. So that you're not, you can really start narrowing down and preventing users from making improper decisions. So that'll be the next video, but this first video I just wanted to show you that if you wanted to formulate the data in a specific way based on what was input, this is how easy you can do it with the HTML macro in the Confluence pages themselves. All right, guys, again, take it easy, have a good time, and enjoy coding.